Hi, I'm Alan McInally, former professional football player and Sky Sports Soccer Saturday pundit, and welcome to Betsafe's Round 3 Premier League preview with myself and former Arsenal and Manchester City striker Paul Dickov, my partner in crime as usual, coming to you from Manchester City's Etihad Stadium. Every week throughout the season we will be previewing round by round action with our top tips, including Betsafe's best odds, best markets and weekly specials, and of course including in that our weekly price boost involving 3 teams picked by myself and Paul to hopefully help you boost your sportsbook wallet with Betsafe. Betsafe is the official betting partner of Manchester City, and as a result you can always get the very best Manchester City specials and odds right here with Betsafe. Trebles, 2 wins and a draw, 2 wins and a defeat. Having said that, what a result for Burnley beating Liverpool for you.
That was my banker as well.
Yeah,
I thought Liverpool going there after beating Arsenal first game of the season, going to Burnley, who looked as if they could struggle a little bit. But fair play to Burnley. I mean, something's like nearly 80% possession Liverpool had. So
that did his treble. Leicester did mine, which I can never bet again until they win a game. So technically, because you had 2 wins and you had a defeat and a draw, technically I'm at the top of the table.
I'll beg to differ on that one.
Exactly.
Right.
Man City season offer, remember, score, draw, refund, Betsafe will guarantee your money back. If you have a bet on City's final score, you will get your money back if it ends in a score draw. That's a season special. So if you have a bet on the score, finishes a draw, Betsafe will guarantee your money back. City to win the Premier League and Champions League, still 49-1. And City to do the double over United, 5-1. Let's get straight into Paul's treble. Palace versus Bournemouth. You're going for Palace.
I'm going for a big one this week.
2-1.
I do.
Sorry, no, they're not 2-1. They're 17-2 to win 2-1, but you've put Palace in.
Yeah, I have. I just, the slow start to the season, I think signing Benteke is going to be a big thing for them.
That's a big signing for them,
they create lots of chances. I think Benteke, they struggle at Liverpool a bit, but sometimes players go to a big club, they need to find their home, and I don't think he's ever settled, and I think going to Palace with that crowd behind him, and Palace create a lot of chances with the players they've got as well, that he could be the difference. In Bournemouth, I like Eddie Howe, I think he's done a wonderful job there, but I just think they're going to struggle this year.
That's where I am for Sky on Saturday, incidentally. Yeah. I'm at Palace Bournemouth, so I'm looking forward to that, so I'll keep my fingers crossed. Yeah, right.
Yeah, no chance.
For you. But Bolassi's not there now though, is he? I mean, will that hurt them at all? Because you'd be looking for, it's better for Lukaku at Everton surely with Bolassi's crosses and what?
Yeah, it is, but you get 30 million. It's hard to turn down for a player like Balassi, and they're even chatting about Wilfried Zaha going to Tottenham. Leading up to the weekend, which I can't see myself. But they've got Andrews Townsend there, who'll put crosses in the box, and I just feel that Benteke will be the one bit that they'll be missing.
Okay. Good one. Well, let's get it's a big one to start. We'll go on to your next one, and you've gone for Leicester at home to Swansea.
Yep.
Well, Leicester disappointing I'm saying disappointing because I thought they would have too much for Arsenal. The game finished 0-0.
Yeah, they should have won the game though.
Yeah, well, absolutely. My treble should have been up.
It should have been big, man. Refereeing decided it's a Stonewall penalty in the last minute on Musa, and I think first game of the season at Hull they struggled a little bit. Last week they looked back to the team that they were that won the league. They're compact. Mahrez, Vardy on the break looked a real threat again. And I think Musa coming in there now, because the kid's an absolute flying machine. Yeah. And I think you put him one side, Mahrez the other side, it's going to create loads of space for Vardy. I was going to say, do you think they'll spend well in the transfer market, or do you think they'll spend enough? I do, yeah. I think the biggest signings is managing to keep the likes of Mahrez and Vardy. Possibly, Danny Drinkwater today as well, Kasper Schmeichel. Yeah. Sometimes it's more important, big man, to keep that core together when you've had it.
Swansea 21 for the 5 for the upset. I'm not going to throw it in, but it may be. But anyway, Leicester Swansea is Paul's second. Swansea disappointed last week at home to Hull, beat 2-0.
It was, and I fancied them. A great start of the season for Hull, but Swansea, like Bournemouth, I think could struggle this year. They had relatively good seasons for the size of club they were last year, and get into the second season. I don't think they've invested enough. I don't think they've strengthened enough. No. And
lost their centre half.
Losing their skipper Ashley Williams is massive for them.
Absolutely. Third one. This is a belter. Watford at home to Arsenal. You've gone for Watford to turn them over.
I have.
Incidentally, Watford got beat in the middle of the week in the Cup by Gillingham, albeit, was it extra time, I think?
Extra time, 2-1 when Bradley Dack scored late on. Just got a feeling for Watford with a front two. and Arsenal struggling a little bit defensively. I know Koscielny came in last week at Leicester and was fantastic.
Well, it's a Gallo and Deeney we're talking about for Watford's front two.
Yeah, they're a handful for anybody at the best of times, you know. And if you're saying Koscielny's not fully fit, the young kid Holden done well, to be fair to him, at the weekend. But I just think that down at Vicarage Road, and for 75 minutes against Chelsea last week, Watford were the better team.
Yeah, they did all right, didn't they?
Yeah.
They really frustrated Chelsea quite a lot.
Played really well. I just think the front two of Watford could be the difference in that game.
39-10. We're almost getting fours on Watford. This could be the belter.
I'm going for it big
time,
time,
mate. I'm going to tell you how much it is. What is it? 24-1 the treble, which is absolutely different class. Let's just talk Arsenal very briefly. 0-0 against Leicester. Has he spent any money yet? Apparently he was seen at one of the supermarkets the other day, so he spent some money, but he wasn't buying a football player as usual.
Just it baffles me, you know. The coach, the manager that he is, he's been fantastic over the years. The club, the stadium, the money, the team that they've got, they're crying out, and we spoke about it last week, big man, crying out for a centre half and a centre forward. And how they've still not done it with, what is it, 7 days, 6 days to go to the transfer window closing, it amazes me.
I mean, Betsafe we're not bashing anybody, but I heard the story about they're trying to buy a striker possibly. It was around 17 or 18 million, and Arsenal wanted to pay it in instalments. I mean, come on. If you want the player, just buy him. Done and dusted. Anyway, Paul Dickov treble. Palace to win, Leicester to win, Watford to win at 24-1, and that will be available under price specials on Betsafe. The McInally treble. I will remind you about something else, incidentally. If you're a new customer and want the treble, then if you bet £10, you will get £20 welcome offer, so you have absolutely nothing to lose. The McInally treble hit the bar last week. Chelsea to beat Burnley. I'm not really pushing too much out there, am I?
Nah.
Although Burnley turned over Liverpool.
You would expect Chelsea to win that quite comfortably, but I talk about Watford going out during the week. Burnley went out to Accrington Stanley as well. I know they made a lot of changes, but
and what was it, 3-2, 4-3 to Chelsea against Bristol Rovers?
Yeah, it was. So, but Chelsea being at home, 1-2 out of 2, you know, the 100% record. They're looking to continue that. But you know, Sean Dyche after the Liverpool game, he'll be feeling that he can go down there and really frustrate them. And you know, they've done it against Liverpool, but for me, Chelsea cost us scoring goals.
That's my big thing. That's why I've gone for them. I think Burnley will go there and try and frustrate Chelsea as much as Watford did, but I just find it difficult when I'm looking at all the fixtures. And Chelsea are a decent value as well because Burnley got a good result. I think Chelsea will be pretty good. I think this is one of my bankers this week, and I am a big fan of Stoke City and Mark Hughes. But Everton at home to Stoke, I've gone for Everton. Yeah,
I said it a couple of weeks ago. I like the look of Everton this year. Ronald Koeman's went in there, done fantastic. Got the first win of the season at West Brom last week, and Stoke, you know, took a bit of battering. Man City weren't exactly at their best, and still ran away 4-1 winners. You know,
they gave it a bit of a go in the second half. Stoke City, to be fair, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I know we'll come on to Man City in a bit, but I think the referee gave them a bit of a helping hand with the penalty that got them back in the game. But Stoke have got some good players, but they tailed off last year towards the end, and they've not really started the best. Everton being at home, Goodison, always tough place to go, and they'll be really strong this year. That's
the kind of basis of my treble this week. Chelsea, fortress, tough place to go. Everton, Goodison, tough place to go. West Brom against Middlesbrough is my third choice, but I'm going for the Borough. For the simple reason I think West Brom are going to struggle this season, I really do.
They need to bring in 3-4, I think Tony Pulis came out and said 5 players he wants.
Yeah.
5 players is a lot and 6 days left in the window.
Beat last week by Everton at West Brom.
Goal scoring is going to be a big problem for them. I know they've got Rondon, Berahino, who knows if he's going to stay.
I think he's going to go. Well, the thought says he might go, Paul. And funnily enough, it might be Stoke that might be after him.
Yeah, and that's a lot of goals to try and replace. Yeah. You know, he's a talented boy. Middlesbrough are on fire. You know, Negredo, who I loved when he was here at City. Yeah. Is went and hit the ground running.
Stuani's got a couple of goals as well, big lad.
Yeah, fantastic strike for his first one last year. And you know, it sounds as if I've got something going on with Ayator Karanka, but I've bet him a few times, and he is different class.
Over 2-1 the away, incidentally. 21-10, Betsafe, best price there for Middlesbrough. I just couldn't not put it in. I genuinely couldn't. So the McInally treble will be Chelsea, Everton, and Borough to win at 6-1. A little bit skinny considering the wee man's is 24-1. 6-1 for McInally under price specials on Betsafe. And remember, if you're a new customer and want the treble, then take it with a £10 bet, get £20 welcome offer. You have nothing to lose. I will mention another little treble that Betsafe have put up, and it's a special Betsafe treble price boost. It's Spurs, Chelsea and Leicester all to win at 22-5, so just over 4-1. The rest of the fixtures: Tottenham versus Liverpool.
It's going to be a tough one. What Liverpool are we going to get? You know, go down to the Emirates, score 4 goals, go to Burnley and can't score.
I've got a good stat for you. Spurs have failed to score on the last 3 visits of Liverpool.
Wow. I tell you, but
which you would have thought of a Spurs team, probably not likely.
Absolutely, especially down at White Hart Lane as well. You know,
but Liverpool's strong at the back maybe this time, and Spurs are.
No, that's what's letting them down at the minute. You know, you look at the first game, they scored 4 goals down at the Emirates, then go and concede 2 at Burnley, not score. Look, didn't even threaten the goal while the possession they had, then bang 5 in midweek. So it all depends what Liverpool are going to turn up. You know, Tottenham, lots of energy, lots of youth in the team, and a lot of quality. And
took them a long time to break Palace down last week, though, didn't they?
Yeah, it did, and they're playing Harry Kane. Harry Kane.
Let's say that another new signing by Spurs. Harry Kane.
Yeah, he's playing that number 10 role, which is baffling me at the minute as well, because you know, top goal scorer last year, top England international, and they're playing him out of position a little bit for me.
Pick a winner, pick a draw. Draw 12-5 the draw, 29-20 Spurs, so just favourites. Liverpool 19-10. It's a hard one to call. I'll go draw.
It is. I'll stick my neck out and go for Tottenham.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be a big result for them. And remember, if that was to happen, that's 2 away games for Liverpool and pick up 2 big defeats. Yeah. Southampton, Sunderland, another one.
Sunderland need to start picking up points, don't they?
Big time.
You know, I know they lost here to Man City first game of the season. Most people would have expected, but in the big derby game last week, being at home against Middlesbrough, the fans, the team, everybody would have been expecting them to get their first 3 points of the season there. So there's a lot of pressure on them. Southampton.
Are you worried about Southampton, Paul? Beat by Manchester United necessarily. That was a Friday night game. We haven't spoken about it. United winning 2-0.
Yeah, they did. But look, up until United's first goal, Southampton actually looked the better team and created a couple of chances. Okay, they did. But it's how often they can keep losing big players. You know, they've lost Wanyama and obviously Mane this year. Can they replace them? They've done it before when Ronald Koeman and Pochettino before that. They've managed to get over it. But you can't keep losing your best players season after season and expect to be successful.
Big game for both, actually, isn't it? Do we go with Southampton for the simple reason the game's down the coast?
Yeah, I do, and I just think Sunderland at the minute you can't see them buying a win. I think David Moyes has come out and said it. He needs to invest and get his players.
There's a nice little bet for you. Fancy Sunderland, and you're a Sunderland fan on Betsafe. 1-0 if you can nick it. 14-1 best price on Betsafe. Hull City, who are absolutely flying, 2-0 last week at Swansea, host Manchester United.
I know, well, if you'd said 3 games into the season the teams with 100% records were Man City, Man United, Chelsea and Hull, he would have thought you were crazy, but brilliant from Mike Phelan. It really is. He's obviously, the players know him through being the assistant and being the coach, and he's a fantastic coach. I've watched sessions that Mike's done. But that relationship he's had as an assistant manager has obviously been taken on to him, being the interim manager, whatever it is at the minute, and the players love him, and you can tell that the way they're performing, they're running for him, they're playing for him, and they're winning games, which is great.
Incredible.
But
I know your heart lies here at the Etihad where we are today for Betsafe's Premier League preview, but you must be impressed. I know, listen, we're only a couple of games in, but the Mourinho factor has already rubbed off in United, hasn't it?
They look the real deal. They really do. They don't just look a good team. They look big, strong, and powerful as well, which we've not seen for a while.
No.
You know, Pogba last week, it just put rest to that. What's that myth about they can't play in the European Championships and need 6 weeks? He's just come off the beach in Miami and went and ran the show for 90 minutes. You know,
he's still sand between his toes, apparently.
But you know, it was a phenomenal performance for him, considering he'd only been in the club and trained a couple of times, and that makes it really ominous for everybody else. And Ibrahimovic,
72 to end up top goal scorer. I mean, I still probably couldn't take it, but he's just such a... Not enigma's not the right word. I mean, he's a superstar, he's a god, according to him, but he really does have it. He does have something that he's just...
Look, he can back it up.
He can.
Can't he?
That's the one.
And
he backs
you
it
know,
up.
The Southampton game, he didn't necessarily do a lot, but his header was magnificent.
Yeah,
it was like you, big man.
It was in the old days.
In your old days.
Yeah. Except I didn't get up just as high as that.
But he is the real deal, and you know, obviously he's saying my heart's here, which it is, but I think United are going to be really strong this year.
So United to put the Hull, take them off the rails a little bit? Yeah,
that I can do.
Okay. United 9-1 with Betsafe to win 3-0. I don't know whether it might be that one. So I think Hull have done so well. They're at least going into the game with a little bit of confidence. But I do think United for me as well in that one. Now we've got another one to say. I will mention something. The big one here is Manchester City versus West Ham. Just to mention, they will be with me on Sunday, Harry Redknapp and Paul Dickov. Facebook Live from City Square at 3 p.m. on Facebook, Betsafe Facebook Live. We will say that the game is a 4 o'clock kickoff. And Facebook Live from the Betsafe Players Lounge around 2:30, previewing the game, half-time and post-match analysis on Betsafe Facebook Live with myself, Alan McInally, Harry Redknapp and Paul Dickov. Looking forward to that. That should be really good. Man City, West Ham. It's a toughie actually, isn't it? I mean, West Ham, I know they took a long time before they eventually got their goal in their new stadium, of course, but coming here is a different proposition, isn't it?
It is, but I thought that last year. I know it's completely different scenarios, but they came here and won 2-0 last season, and it could have been 3 or 4. They were magnificent on the day. They've still got a few players missing, which is the only reason why I think it might be a little bit easier for City on Sunday. And for me, City, talking about United being the real deal, it's only 2 league games in, but the European games they've played and everything else, they're looking the real deal and slowly but surely
I think
getting
both
better.
City and United are going to be strong this season, and I think eventually it's going to be between the two of them. It might even go down to when they play each other after all. I mean, Nolito's had a good start to the season, hasn't he?
He has, 3 goals already, has it? You know, Aguero 6 goals in 3 games.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, so it'll be interesting how West Ham set up here though, because you know, Bucharest came here midweek, and I know City rested a lot of players, but just sat behind the ball, and City struggled a little bit to break them down, you know, and it's how teams are going to approach it when they come here. I know David Silva and Aguero and a few of the big other hitters weren't playing, but it'll be interesting to see what they do, you know, because they came here last year and they went after City from the first minute and caused them all sorts of problems.
I think that's a good point Paul makes there, because I think that's probably what West Ham will do at the weekend, because you know what it's like sometimes. Although City will be favourites for the game, if West Ham go out and quieten the crowd, as it were, but put City a little bit on the back foot with exactly the thoughts of what happened to the last time. Yep,
and if they perform anywhere near like they did here last season, that they'll give City a proper game at the weekend.
Now, you know, Raheem Sterling and I is a love-hate relationship, and I don't know the boy, and I want him to be fantastic, but under Guardiola so far, he's been fantastic.
He has, and look, we've argued about this a few times. I'm a big fan of Raheem's, and I
want him to let the go and show me.
And I felt that the reins were put on him a little bit last year.
Possibly.
Then he suffered a lack of confidence when maybe he should have been taken out of the team a little bit. But look, Pep Guardiola's come in and he's a completely different player. You know, he's on the front foot all the time. His first thought when he gets the ball now is, can I beat my man? Can I shoot? Can I cross it?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but then that was the complete opposite last year. Everything was back and safety and a little bit nervy. And if he can keep continuing in that way, and playing, it's City are going to have a real player in their hands.
I mean, I've written down formations and Guardiola's style, etc., etc. I don't think he pushed the fullbacks on as much as at Stoke as he maybe would normally do here, and I think he'll probably change a little bit here. But so far, so good for Guardiola in terms of Manchester City. Whatever formation or whatever system he puts out, he seems to be getting the best out of the players he picks.
He is, and look, a lot of credit's got to go to the players as well, because it's been dramatic changes in how they want to play when they come in. And you know, they're saying that, or the players are saying, and they're still learning, Guardiola's saying that they're still getting used to the players, but they've played 4 games and scored 12 goals.
No, exactly.
You know, and if they're not firing all cylinders already, and they've still got Sané to come in, they've still got Gundogan to come in, so it's you know, the squad, City's whole squad at the minute, when everybody's fit, is looking by far the strongest for me.
Good. West Ham under Bilic have done well, haven't they? I mean, I'm a big fan of Slaven Bilic. I like watching him, I like listening to him on TV, I like listening to him when he's talking about his team, and I think he's always looking for more from West Ham.
Yep, and you can tell that the players want to play for them as well. You know, you can on the touchline if he's...
And he's had a few injuries as well, hasn't
he? He has, but it was fantastic last season, and I think people were slightly surprised how well he's done, but he's done an unbelievable job at Croatia as a national manager as well. You know, he's ex-player, loved by the fans, and the one thing he's done is, whereas previously at West Ham they didn't quite have it, whether it was the managers, the fans, the ground, the board, he's brought the whole club together and you can tell the way they play, the way the fans are behind them, and he's done a fantastic job.
Absolutely. West Ham 49 to 10, so you're almost getting 5s on West Ham. 19 to sorry, for the draw, 19 to 2 for an away win, so you're probably getting almost 10s there. Man City are obviously big favourites. And of course, I will remind you that we will be here with Harry Redknapp, Paul Dickov and myself, Alan McInally, Facebook Live from City Square at 3 p.m. on Betsafe Facebook. Okay, we'll finish off and remind you with the trebles. Paul's treble was Palace, Leicester, Watford, all to win 24-1.
That's the one, mate.
If you've got a sportsbook wallet, I suggest you do. And remember, if you're a new customer, if you fancy a little bet, £10, we will give you £20. They have nothing to lose. The McInally treble, Chelsea, Everton, Borough, all to win 6-1. And of course, if you're a new customer with that one as well, we will give you 20 quid if you bet 10. Okay, that's all about what we've got time for. Don't forget to join us throughout the season with our top tips on our Premier League, Champions League and World Cup qualifiers, including Facebook Live on Sunday from the Etihad Stadium throughout the afternoon with Paul Dickov and Harry Redknapp. I'm Alan McInally. He's been Paul Dickov. Thanks for listening and watching. Hopefully we'll put you in the right position for a nice little treble to boost your sports book wallet on Betsafe. See you Sunday from Manchester City against West Ham on Betsafe Facebook Live.